What's up, witches? It's me, the Zen Witch. Ow, and Pie. Come here, come over here. Bye-bye. Ah, there he goes. All right. Well, hopefully he'll be back. I am looking today. There he is. There's a boo. Fixing to mess me up. Happy day to you. I am in my happy place this morning with another unboxing of the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Before I get going, let me light my charcoal. Because I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning. Okay. New Orleans Voodoo Tarot by Louis Martinie and Sallie and Glassman. We have a sleeve type box. This is by Destiny Books. And it says Tarot/African American. The first Tarot to celebrate an African American culture. Hold on, let me adjust here. This book and 79 card deck capture both the spirit and imagery of Voodoo's African, West Indian, and Catholic influences. Ancient and earth-honoring, Voodoo's practices take on different forms specific to time and place, but its essence remains focused on the Loa, the potent spiritual forces of Voodoo that are manifested directly through human beings and their actions. The authors draw strong parallels between the Waite and Thoth tarots, the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the Voodoo tradition as it is practiced in New Orleans. Just as the major and minor arcana of the Tarot represent the archetypes of the human psyche and the natural forces of our world, so do the Loa of Voodoo embody the primal energies of the universe. With a variety of spreads and readings, the authors show how the Tarot can be an ideal channel through which the Loa exercise their powers to teach, advise, and initiate the serious student into their mysteries. A musician involved in sacred secular drumming and editor for Black Moon Publishing, Louis Martinie is also the author of Waters of Return, The Ionic Flow of Voodoo. Ooh, that sounds good. Sallie and Glassman's award-winning drawings, paintings, charcoals, and pastels have been widely exhibited. The distinctive and evocative images she has created for this book and deck mirror the colorful gaiety of the New Orleans experience and the mystery of Voodoo, adding a completely new dimension to the very ancient tradition of Tarot divination. Box contents: 79 full-color Tarot cards, 288-page book with 175 black and white illustrations. And as I said, Destiny Books will go inside for the copyright. So pretty substantial book and sleeve, very substantial. Like big, hefty book. It took some doing to get it out. Look at this. Look at this. That's just like a full frickin' deal. Awesome. All right. Now, I ordered this deck like back in June or July, and I have not looked at it since. Okay, concept by Louis Martinie and Sallie Ann Glassman. Text by Louis Martinie. Artwork by Sallie Ann Glassman, Rochester, Vermont. And this is 1992. So early. And yeah, I believe that this is the first one that went with Afrocentric imagery. We have the cards separated into two sections, which is kind of awkward. I mean, I prefer boxes where the deck is just in there as the deck. The two-section thing, I'm not that keen about. Anyway, let's go. So we have the Fool is World Egg. And first of all, let's look at the backs. I'm very intrigued by this. So they are directional. You can tell when they're upside down from the backs. But this is a very pleasing design for me. There's an upside down crescent moon. So right away, you know, I'm intrigued as to what do these symbols mean. We've got a couple of snakes. We've got almost, I mean, it's kind of tree-like. It's almost many-limbed goddess-like. Not part of Voodoo tradition. Okay, let's find out. World egg. So there's a serpent. Yes, a serpent swallowing the egg. And look how dynamic this artwork is. There's kind of a raw edge to it. It's very textural. It's very, like I said, dynamic. There's a lot of energy running through. You can see, when you look at something like this, Dr. John, what I see is like the physical energy of the artist. You can feel that physical energy in the strokes of, the pastels. Marie Laveau is the high priestess, the cowrie shell curtain. Ayi Zan is empress. Loco is, it's like somebody looking down in a hole. Is that the emperor? Are we stepping outside? So the question is here, are we now stepping outside of the standard tarot correspondences? Master of the head. So if we're going along, this would be the Hierophant. That kind of makes sense. The Lovers, Marasa. That makes sense as well. Very different imagery. I like this because it's a whole new thing, dance. So this would be the Chariot as a vehicle. This is strength, possession, I guess, or justice. I would say strength. Coucher. Coucher, is that the Hermit? Coucher, what does coucher mean? Coucher means to sleep. If you look at the word couched, it kind of means couch. So you're lying down, you're in a sleepy kind of thing. But is that the Hermit? I guess there's a sense of isolation there. The Market, I get a vibe of the Wheel. And there's all kinds of stuff to see here. We've got a Sphinx. We've got like Anubis or Set in the middle there, it looks like. Lots of booths and people selling things, like the women at the bottom. It's almost like a triple goddess thing going on. Sweet. Secret societies. This would be the Hanged Man. Are you back there, Boo? He's back there. Nookie. Nookie him peeping. There, kitten tax. Zombie. So here's the Death card. No, that's the Hanged Man card. Justice. This would be Justice. And Zombie would be Hanged Man. And then we have the Death card, Les Morts. So that's the first one that has been like named as it is in the tarot. Ti Bon Ange, that is Temperance. Then we have the Devil. Courir le Mardi Gras. Okay. Running the Fat Tuesday. Driving the Fat Tuesday. Okay, Deluge is the Tower. Zétoile, the stars. Zétoile, what's the Z? Magic Mirror is the Moon. Oh, do I like that? That's a wonderful image. Then we have the Sun, Gros Bon Ange, the big good angel. Where's the other Bon Ange that we were looking at? T Bon Ange. T. So that's what the T is. The T is a condensation, contraction of petit. Petit Bon Ange. Gros Bon Ange. The little good angel and the big good angel. Ancestors would be the Judgment card. Carnival would be the World. And then we have a wild card, Les Barons. Wow, that's cool. I can't wait to find out what that's about. Let's set that aside. Now we're going to Petro. So this is Petro Congo, Rada, Santeria. Okay, hold up. I need to go here and get some information before we go through this. Common elements of voodoo: the role of sacrifice, appropriate materials for sacrifice, possession, the veve, voodoo and the tree of life. Okay, 22 roads, the 40 spirits. Let's just see what we've got. And there's the temple court cards. I'm just scanning to see if she mentions the different cultures. Common elements of voodoo: the role of sacrifice, appropriate materials for sacrifice. 22 roads, so that's where we're coming into the Kabbalah stuff. The vessels. All right, that's Kabbalah, possession, voodoo, and the tree of life. Tarot and voodoo. There's a whole thing on the tree of life here. We've got this whole schematic. What's the matter, baby? What's the matter, baby? Yes? What's the matter? Oh, my goodness. What does him need? What do my baby need? You want a lap? He's like, sit back, Mom. It's not warm. Okay, come on. You got to come down from my lap. You got to come down into the lap. But you got to get lots of kisses first. Look at my boo. Oh, I can't stand it, you guys. I can't stand how sweet this kitten is. All right. Back to it. New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Okay, I'm seeing... I guess we need to get to the... into the minors and see if there's like a little introduction there. Hi, baby. He's just sitting so sweetly in my lap on using these cards. 22 roads in the wild card. Okay, let's get to the 4 6s. Okay, so as we see, the deck is organized, so we see all 4 of the aces together. 4 aces are contributed to Keter. Dambala. Contemplation, divination. So I'm looking for, I think it's going to take some deeper reading. I am looking for where these 4 versions, Petro, Congo, Rada, and Santeria, are mentioned. And I'm not seeing that. And it's feeling like a terrible missed opportunity to do some serious education with this. Okay, wait. There we go. I found it. Tarot makes use of 4 nations or voodoo traditions that roughly correspond to the 4 elements of Western tradition: fire, water, air, and earth. Nations refer to a grouping of rites and spirits that walk together and are related by common origin or theme. Hi, baby. Do you see? Hi, baby. This video might be a little longer than normal because I'm being a baby. Okay, sorry. Sorry, you guys. All right. Nations refer to a grouping of rites and spirits that walk together and related by common origin or theme. The first of these nations is Petro, a form of worship common in Haiti, which corresponds to fire. It's funny because Petro, you would think stone, but obviously not the origin of this word. These rites tend toward the revolutionary in that their fiery content challenges the established order of things. Yes, it does, Pi. For example, the Petro ritual of Bois Cayman, performed on August 14, 1791, began the Haitian War of Independence. In this rite, those present took an oath to follow the Hungan, the priest Boukman, in a fight for independence. The war ended in 1804. That's a long time, like 23 years, and Haiti emerged, 1804, 91, 13 years. Haiti emerged as the second independent country in the Western Hemisphere. The name La Flambeau is taken from the torch carriers who light the way for nighttime carnival parades. All right. Carnival literally means farewell to flesh. And it is within the heat of Carnival that the flesh or the established order of things is upset and transcended. The rites of the Congo nation, the second represented here, according to Milo Rigaud, 1969, are attributed to the element of water. These rites, fire, water, these rites and the loa they summon are in general of a more jarring character than the rada or air rites, yet not so jarring as the petro. Okay, more jarring than rada, than air, but not as bad as fire. This follows the elemental attributions in that air is the least harsh element, then comes water, and then fire. Santeria, the earthy nation of this deck, is a system in itself independent of voodoo and will be treated as such. That's very good to know. Fresh water is the precious element of voodoo. Water is commonly used to assist the loa in entering ritual space. They are said to walk the water road. All right, so water as a conductant, flowing water brings in the loa. Streams that well up from the earth are sacred places where the voices of the loa or spirits can be heard. Indeed. In this tarot, the Congo nation is attributed to water in order to pay homage to a sacred site in New Orleans, Congo Square. It is a place of grace where Dr. John drummed and Marie Laveau danced and presided over the sometimes legal dance of the enslaved people of the city. Hi, Pi. Don't go near the charcoal, dude. Ooh, and it didn't light. What do you know? Let's see. It is now the site of drum groups and numerous black cultural events. As the water road of the Loa winds its way through New Orleans, it flows close to the surface in Congo Square. The third of these nations is Rada, which in terms of this tarot corresponds to air. The Rada rites are characterized by a formal, subtle quality. They claim origin from the rites performed in the well-established traditional kingdom of Dahomey, with its highly developed religious structure. The Rada is attributed to air in that Western occultism postulates a connection between air and the intellect. The intellect is seen as airy in its flights of imagination, its quick rush of thoughts, one tumbling over the other. Within the context of the Rada rites, the intellect is not the child of illusion, but a liberating force, a force useful in the forging of connections, a force that can be used to clothe spirit in a cloak of many colors. Then, Santeria is a sister religion to voodoo. This is so wonderful for me because it is, I don't have a foundation in this culture. And so it's really great to be learning what the differences are and what kind of fits in together and what is a separate thing. In deference to its power and influence in the New World, it is used in this tarot as the nation that resonates well with the element earth. Solidity, strength, and the ability to take hold of the conditions at hand and grow are attributes of the element earth. Santeria, with its tremendous growth and following in the New World, has definitely managed to successfully bring its high spiritual teachings to the sphere of the element earth. Santeria and the spirits and practices have come to be called voodoo, find their initial theology in different African peoples. Santeria derives a good deal of its heritage from the religious practices of the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Voodoo looks to the Fon-speaking people of the once great Dahomey as a major source, with contributions from the Igbo, Congo, Nagos, and other African peoples. The families of spirits of these African peoples, though related, are different. As Corlander writes, Africa was a continent of many cultures and nations, and its belief systems varied. Even neighboring peoples such as the Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Mahis did not have common religious traditions. Well, yeah, Santeria has developed a strong and elaborate ceremonial structure firmly connected to a widely recognized hierarchy. The voodoo of New Orleans is individual in tone and in most cases chronicles one person's or group's relationships with the spirits. Okay, so it goes on. While this is a voodoo tarot and the rituals and processes are voodoo in nature, it would be disrespectful not to include the names and some information concerning the great Orishas, spirits of Santeria, in the cards and text. So that gives us some foundation as we go. A lengthy foundation there, but it was worth it. We need to know this stuff. Let me try to light my charcoal again. Come on. Please, Pi, do not think that is fascinating. Please, please, please. All right. So we had Petro, Congo, Rada. Oh, there's the wild card. Rada and Santeria. So we have like the serpent of fire, and the serpent of water, and the serpent of air. And then we have, is that a serpent? Ooh, earth. I mean, look at this eye with like these tears coming down around. What's that? Way different from the other aces. All right, let's set that one aside. Oh, here we go. Here are the twos. The two of fire is Nanan Boklu la Flambeau. And, I didn't read. Dambala le Flambeau, Aida Wedo is the water, Dambala Wedo is air, and Olodumare is earth. Or, Earth, Santeria, Petro. Nanan Boklu la Flambeau. Congo is Gran Ibo. Rada is Nanam Boklu. Santeria Olofi. Ooh, look at her. Wow. Petro, Gueda la Flambeau. So this is the 3. The dance of fire, the dance of passion there. Congo, Maman Brigitte. So one wonders about this being, the overlay of Saint Bridget over their goddess of fire. Rada is Gwede. Oya. Oya. Oya, who gets so jealous when anyone leaves her out and talks to just her sister Yamaya. Agwe la Flambeau, so we're into the 4s now. Agwe la Flambeau, we're showing a boat. La Baleine, is that a whale? Yes, like being swallowed by a whale. Rada is Agwe, ships. Obatala. So Santeria seems to have, that, like they said, the Santeria suit is honoring the Orishas. Ogun la Flambeau is the 5. Ogun Balindio, water. Ogun Farai, does that mean like iron, Ogun or something? And then Ogun Santeria. The 6 is Petro, Legba la Flambeau. Shilibo Nuvavo Dani is Congo. Hold on. Baby. You don't need to do that. You don't need to play with the tongs. No, you don't. Okay. I hope you get it, the tiniest bit of endorphin rush that I get from that. Okay, Legba. Look at that. I mean, baby boy, you are just going to fuck things up for me here, aren't you? No. Honey, that's hot. That's hot. And then we have Elegua, Santeria. Erzuli la Flambeau is 7. La Sirène. Erzuli Freda Dahomey. Oshun, goddess of beauty. Simbi la Flambeau. Simbi Dlo. Simbi. Shango. Massa la Flambeau. Madame la Lune. Massa. And Yemaya. Oh, look at her. She's glorious. Oh, yeah. Honey, you don't need that necklace. You really don't. Azaka la Flambeau. Now we're into the 10s. Baby. You may hear me screaming in pain soon. Grand Bois. Azaka. And Ochosi. All right, now we are into the quartz. So let's take a look at what the quartz are in this deck. 16 temple cards is what they call them. For New Orleans voodoo, the royal road to Guinea, the African Holy Land, winds through Haiti. As the Haitian servitor looks to Africa for inspiration and ritual forms, so the voodooist of New Orleans looks to Haiti. All right, the titles of the cards draw heavily upon an idealized organization of a Haitian Honfor or temple, One of the strengths of voodoo is its diversity of ritual and organization. The positions and the duties given for these cards are composite in nature, distilled from verbal, written, and experiential sources. They communicate the religious ambience of an operating temple. However, no one temple may or should be expected to contain all of these positions or roles. European courts, the king, knight, queen, princess reflects a social structure or way of viewing the world that in Europe has been primarily secular. The figures on the temple cards of this deck move through an atmosphere more rarefied, more subtle than that occupied by the imperial figures of the court cards. Dude. Honey, that hurts. Theirs is the world of religious expression rather than temporal power. Okay, the temple cards function to define two major areas of experience, the practical and the esoteric. They can be used to define certain physical and personality types. In an esoteric sense, these cards point to certain spiritual influences likely to be found in the various personality types. Practical view is focused or narrow, so that we are talking personalities. He is just after the necklace this morning. Okay, so here we go. Petro, let me see if we can get a... All right. Honey. Oh, Jesus. All right. I'm going to put my camera down here just so you can get, a little snatch of what's going on here. Try to concentrate on the deck. We'll see who wins. And now he is not in my lap anymore. Laud. Okay. Hungan. Okay, so Hungan is like the pages. Radha. But in Santeria, it's called Santero. Mambo. And Santera. Okay, so both of those are called Santera. Oh, Santero, Santera. So like prince and princess. La place. I like all of these have a sword and like a crossroady thing going on. Oriate is the third one there. And then we have Hunsis for the kings. Hunsis. King, queen. Hunsi, Yagwo. All right. Wow. Whole new flipping system. Let's, I actually want to light some sage here. I feel the need to honor. To kind of take a moment to try to light my sage and to do a cleanse here. And what I would like to, the statement here, I mean, just the deck. Yes, we're cleansing the deck because I haven't done it yet. But we are also asking that negativity around the idea of these cultures and these religions be just completely blown up and dispelled. And then, ancestors and allies, guides and guardians, I offer you fresh water, the stream through which the Loa move. And I offer you the fire of Azrael, precious perfume, that you may give good information and good insight. All right, so take a shuffle. I can already tell they're going to shuffle well. Ooh, they're kind of stiff. Surprised. They still shuffle well, but they're stiffer than I thought they would be. But it's the kind of stiff that'll loosen up. I mean, I've said this so many times before. It used to be, you got a deck and you shuffled and shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and it just loosened it up so that they were very comfortable and shuffleable. And anymore, we've got decks that just will never loosen up. But this is bringing the old days back to me. Shuffle until they... Okay. The wild card, I'm sitting here thinking, because I just shuffled it in and I wanted to look it up, but I'm sure that's a blank card. And a couple times now something's tried to come out, so we're going to look. The market. Let's just see what's flying out. Oh, that is a major. Sorry. Interdependence, wheel of fortune. All roads lead to the market, an often repeated saying. Here the crossroads meet. Movement, change, and flux rule the day. All is interdependence. God and mortals barter for that which is necessary to their continued existence. Everything depends upon someone or something else. The Loa need the servitors in order to manifest. The servitors need the animals in order to grow physically and spiritually. The animals need the servitors to fear and care for them. If any link in the chain fails, all is lost. If someone takes more than their share, if greed touches the heart of any of the participants, then all must suffer. This card takes on the aspect of the New Orleans French market, the oldest operating market in the country. The vendors dressed in purple are a daily sight at the market. They are members of a religious order who come to sell their wares. The attributes of this card focus on an appreciation of the need for cooperation in order to survive. And then there's a contemplation and divination. The contemplation says the vast chain of life that supports an individual's existence. Okay, so that is the symbol overall. And that's a wonderful, wonderful interpretation of the Wheel of Fortune, that there's this circle, it's a circle of life, and that every position on the wheel has an irreplaceable function. And if any one of those things steps off that wheel or doesn't perform their function, the whole thing collapses. So there's like a web of life vibe there too. That everything's connected and everything goes up and goes down and up again, cycles. It's wonderful. A realization, the divination is a realization upon which your works or very existence depends. A rapid change of fortune. So, talking about the vital role that each plays on the chain, this is the realization upon which your works or very existence depends. So having a realization of that, your existence and your subsistence, being able to feed and clothe yourself, all that kind of stuff really depends. And this card represents the realization of that, or a rapid change of fortune. Okay, let's take a look at the the blank card. There it is, the Barons, wild card, unexpected change. Papa Guédé Belgasson, Papa Guédé Belgasson, l'habillé tout en noir pour monter au palais. So it says Papa Guédé is a handsome fellow. Papa Guédé is a handsome fellow. He is dressed all in black, for he is going to the palace. L'habillé tout en noir pour monter au palais. For going to the palace. Okay, I get it. It's kind of a dialectic version of French. I like it. Barons belong to the lead family of the Guédé spirits. These Guédé barons are not spirits of the dead, but the spirit of death itself. So now I want to know how that's different than the death card. It seems that many years ago, under the regime of President Borno, 22 to 1930, there suddenly appeared in the streets of Port-au-Prince a crowd of Guédés, wearing the formal costume, the tall top hats, long black tailcoats, smoked glasses, cigarettes or cigars, and canes. An enormous crowd naturally collected around them. So smoked glasses would be like sunglasses, homemade sunglasses. An enormous crowd naturally collected around them and joined them in their march to the National Palace. They all took the guards by surprise and, singing, swerved through the gates and up the drive and to the door itself, where they demanded money of the president. President Borno, who is reputed to have been sympathetic to voodoo rituals, secretly so, and yet feared bourgeois opinion, was in a great dilemma. He finally gave in, and the Guédés with their supporters left the grounds. That's from Maya Deren, Divine Horseman. Okay, the personalities of the Barons are a mixture of irreverent humor, sex, and death. Their presence is not so much frightening as unsettling. So there's kind of a coyote, kind of a monkey wrenchy, chaosy, unexpected. It says unexpected change. So the Barons show up and it's like, oh shit, surprise. They're numerous, but three of their number are most often honored. These are Baron Samedi, which would be Saturday, Baron Lacroix, and Baron Cimetière. Their aspect is not that of the somber horsemen of the apocalypse. They are horsemen of a different type, often gay, delighting in the pleasures of life. Gay as in happy, I'm sure. Okay, the contemplation. Death as a great equalizer, pricking vanities both large and small. Divination, extreme and unexpected turn of events. A sense of humor pulls one through dire circumstances. That's excellent. All right, let's look at the death card and see. Les morts. Okay, so this isn't death. This is the dead. This is death itself. These are the dead, both named and forgotten. Among their ranks are numbered deceased ancestors. It's weird. The font is different suddenly on this page. Smaller. What the heck? Okay. The dead wait in the abyssal waters that ebb and flow beneath the earth. In these waters they wait and watch, if bidden, reach out with sure fingers to guide and regulate the affairs of the still living practitioner. Then they can come again in the bodies of the newborn. Great mother and grandfathers swim in the salty waters of the birth canal, seeking once again the light of the sun and the moon. Okay. That's why the font is different, because this is a quote from Martinie, 1986. All right. Shows a pair of hands reaching down into the waters to the dead. Okay. Who swim in a green swirling cloud pulsing with yellowish power. Primary aspect of this card is motion. All are wrapped in a great swirling tide. So the contemplation is transformation, a blurring of the boundaries between life and death, development of the ability to see life in death and death in life. Like my Samhain video. Divination is change, flux, messages from the dead, in particular from the questioner's ancestors, probable need to make offerings to the ancestors. So there's the difference. The Les Barons is death itself. Les Morts, the death card, number 13 of the majors, is actually the dead. All right. I can already feel these loosening up, and it's making me happy. All right. So let's ask now for a reading, and I'm going to offer the salt water too. All right, I ask, please, the ancestors and allies, guides and guardians, the spirits of this deck, the spirits of Voodoo and Santeria, to bring a message through for my viewers on how we thrive moving forward, on how we keep our positivity, our humor, how do we navigate our times in the best possible way. Taken 3, there's the wild card. Boom. And there's the barons. And remember when I was reading that, I did not have that card out. I only had this card. And so we've got Les Barons and Les Morts and a Zaka la Flambeau. So this is going to make things a lot easier in looking stuff up. So this is unexpected change. Well, well, all right. So this is the kind of the all bets are off card and I am taking this as encouraging that there's some energy moving through that's going to shake things up. And then we have Les Morts, which says the ancestors' voices are crying to be heard. That's what it just came loud, loud, loud in my head. So how do we thrive? We acknowledge our own mortality, and we reach out and ask the ancestors for their help, particularly in terms of people of color. I am asking those ancestors, and how many of us have people of color in our ancestry trees that we know nothing about. This is one of the wonders of DNA testing, is so many white people are finding out that they're not as Aryan as they thought they were, and have a reckoning to come to with that. So looking at the ancestors here and hearing their voices coming forth, and what I'm feeling is how many of these ancestors are actually here now, have incarnated to be here at this time. in order to heal us, in order to move us forward, in order to shake things loose and affect the change. I mean, these two cards together, death and the dead, are saying things have got to change for good and forever. We must hit this turning point. Look out, here comes a pie. Come on. You can come. Come on. Come on, Lobu. I have found out that if I try to keep him from things, he just gets more determined, so I let him have the run and satisfy him curiosity. So those two cards are saying, yes, a door is closing. And if it doesn't close gently, it's going to get slammed shut, because there's unexpected change coming. Now let's look at Azaka la Flambeau. That is the 10, corresponds to the 10 of Wands. La Place. Okay, those are the quartz. And there we go. The flaming land reflects the flaming noonday sun. Fire clears the land and brings immediate usefulness. Come here, boo. Food for the stomach and charcoal for the fire used to prepare the food. Azaka la Flambeau works hard. The fire of this Loa eats at the fragile skin of the earth. The trees must be burned to make charcoal to sell and to cook food. Yet if land stripped of trees falls away at the rain's first touch, where will the food grow? Great question. Too much has been taken. The fires reach deep into the earth, leaving little. Haiti suffers, and we all grow to be less than we were, smaller, less able. There is a desperation in Haiti and in the modern world in general, which is understandable yet extremely destructive. The future of the land is being destroyed so that we may eat meagerly today. Come here, boo. Come here. Yet without food now, there would be starvation. The way out of this predicament is not a simple reversal of the initial path taken. The land is too poor. There are too many people. Some entirely new approach is needed. So the oppressive nature of the 10 of Wands here is expressed in terms of things being overtaxed, that there's been overuse, overtaxing, overburdened. So we do definitely get that vibe of burden and oppression from the 10 of Wands. The aspect of Azaka la Flambeau shown in this card is that of a dreamer. In the small fire of his pipe, two figures embrace in love to create new possibilities, solutions as yet unformulated and untried. There they are. Yeah. Okay. I've kissed pie a lot. Now I got hair in my nose. The fire of this Azaka is sex and its ability to inflame the soul, projecting the species into the future against all odds. Kind of interesting, too, that we're looking at like overtaxing and the fact that sex and passion keeps creating new humans, not necessarily intentionally, not necessarily ecologically. So this is a thing that can drive the overburdening. Very interesting. There's always hope, even in the most desperate of situations when women and men can dream. Contemplation. A primary attribute of this card is the grinding down of possibility. Bridges are burned before the land is reached. So because of that overtaxing, we are grinding down our own resources and literally stopping that wheel of fortune, Contemplation. If you can still dream, you can hope. Hi, pie. That's hot, baby. If you can still dream, you can hope. If you can hope, there is a chance. The divination is oppression, cruelty, hope based on the ability to imagine a better situation. So what do we need to do? We need to take the long view. We need to honor our ancestors. We need to understand that if we keep going out of control in our use of resources, we are going to take ourselves to the door of death, to an unsustainable place. So what do we do to thrive? We pull our ancestors in. We get our shit into balance. Honey, that's hot.
That's hot, Pie Pie.
Okay, come on.
Show kitty hold.
So yeah, we get things back into balance. We check our use of resources. and acknowledge our part in the chain of supply and keeping things going. I'm thinking of the Wheel of Fortune card that we were looking at, the market that flipped out. So yeah, the market card was I think what started this reading off, is recognizing that we have this chain. Every part of that chain must uphold. Every chain is as strong as its weakest link. And when one link breaks, the whole chain crashes. So I'm thinking about like the supply chain, that hiccuped when the pandemic hit, and the fact that we're coming into the worst months of this pandemic. And so really looking at our supply chain, looking at how you can stock your supplies so that you can thrive, so that you've got your basic needs covered. And then bringing it back into balance, making sure you're doing your part. That's what I'm getting from this. So I am loving this deck. It really is a window onto culture, and a window that is respectful and inclusive. I learned a lot just from this little unboxing. So I'm looking forward to working with this deck more and learning some more about the African-based religious cultures that are here. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that any mistakes or misspeakings are forgiven. And I hope that you have subscribed to my channel. Please like this video so more people can see it. There's a donate button below that I would really appreciate if you shot me a donation to support my work. There's also a Patreon link and a Discord link and a link to buy me a deck and get yourself a reading. You can have a personal reading on my unboxing. Many people have taken advantage of that, for which I am so grateful, and I want to shout out my wonderful viewers, Annette from Sun to Shine Astrology, who is by far my champion gifter, her daughter Brianna, Rose True, Baronessa Scotty, and I knew I was going to forget, Denise, Tupa, Val Henry, all of my dear viewers and friends that have sent me texts. I really, really appreciate you. Look at the sunshine coming in. It's a beautiful morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you are doing everything you can to alleviate your stress, to minimize your intake of the media, and to meditate and raise your own vibration so you can raise the world's vibration. I will be here tomorrow for another unboxing. I hope you're here as well. I will see you then. This is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.